Honestly, the hovers over there, pretty interesting, but in the end, they still come back to the Gnar, which can do so many different things. You know,
yeah, such a huge part of GAM's success, as now he's got to try to get away, but a flash in from Broken Blade. Kiaya is out of there, and setting the attitude, setting the pace for the series. And now Kiaya is going to be the target yet again. G2 did their homework. They know who they got to go after, and Kiaya is trying to get away as Skumon continues chasing forward. Hans Sama doesn't even need to provide the extra damage. Skumon lifts away with 20 HP. Now LeBron's going to pay the price, so GAM get one back, but G2 are making plays, and they're making more of them faster until Emo has something to say about it, riding into the Weaver's wall. Levi's ready to knock him right back up into the air, and the feat of warfare is claimed by... To seize control over the bot side river and go in for the first Drake. First piercing arrow from Hans Sama, doesn't find Elio or Artemis. Now the Weaver's wall has arrived. Emo's ready to fight. They're gonna go after him, but it's LeBron the first target. Crash down into the Magnet Storm, finds Skumon, but he's already powered up by the Subjugate. Curtain Call opens up, and Levi's ready to jump in. Skumon is already down, and Levi's taking a kill. Hans Sama walks out of the way of the seismic shove. G2 continuing to try to get away from this one. Emo doesn't have enough damage to make anything else happen as the Deadly Flourish flies out. Now Chain CC to Hans Sama. He's stuck around.
Caps pushed in on bottom side first, though.
Let's see how it goes. The Herald's already down to 2/3 HP. GAM thinking about it here, as already Emo's ready to make the teleport come in and join the fight first. But a huge engage coming out from G2. They've already killed Elio before he can do anything. Levi's into the back line, looking to find some damage here to Hans Sama. Nice seismic shove back into Skumon. A little bit more damage is needed, and they're finally going to take him down, but he also has to be traded back again for another one. Broken Blade in the Braum trying to get away as Kiaya goes Mega Form. The Deadly Flourish doesn't hit, but the Weaver's Wall is ready to ride. Emo makes his way into the fight once again, and Artemis is ready to follow up. A little bit more damage on Caps isn't going to be there, as Broken Blade has to slice and dice his way back
under
away.
Tower to try and interrupt his teleport. That's why Emo got there first, but they got the big lead from deleting the rel so early on. Kiai here, since he is chunked out, not going to be a GAM answer. GAM have called, we're going to give you that Herald, we will go for the trade, but can they survive under Tower?
Yeah, Elio's coming up here to try to help Kiaya. Kiaya hit the wave to guarantee that he would turn into Mega Gnar, so he would have the extra HP, but Caps goes in, Broken Blade gets it done. Elio now surviving, trying to in a 1 versus 5 with his top laner already down. He's got no way home. G2 will end up losing Caps as part of the process, so a 2-for-1 trade for them. They'll take the tier 1 turret at the same time. They'll guarantee the charge into the tier 2, and nobody in GAM colors is even around this thing, Kobe. They're gonna get the tier 2 in the top lane for G2 as well.
Yeah, but so much is getting traded because GAM got the Dragon. They also are getting the towers here in mid lane and in bottom lane. Of course, the secondary shove to get the pull in. See Artemis there also kind of chunking Hans Sama, so he has to stay really far out, and that allowed them to go chase that extra kill.
And we got more action right back to live as Emo's in some trouble, and Broken Blade has locked him up and beat him down. No way out for the Taliyah. G2 grabbing kill number 7 this game, and now with Emo dead for the next 30 seconds, it's an easy turret take here in the bottom lane. That's another tier 1 going the way of G2 as they build up to a 1,500 gold lead. Hans Sama, nice sidestep there in the Deadly Flourish to guarantee there's no counterpunch for GAM in the mid lane, but topside, Kiaya will get back a tier 1 of his own.
Yeah, GAM keep trading objectives back, but G2 getting all these extra kills plus the objective because they're the ones making the force, making the play. Be a bigger story and have trouble in the side lanes, but you see G2 every time they have him pushing a side lane, they have most of the team hovering over to that side too, so they would be able to collapse. Meanwhile, the other side lane,
oh, Kiaya versus Broken Blade. Kiaya getting some good damage there, but he immediately uses the Mega Gnar to knock Broken Blade away. The Sterix Gauge shield is enough to keep Broken Blade protected, keeping him feeling safe. Does not have to worry about popping the Dominus here early. Kiaya throws out another Q into the wallop. Even though he gets slowed down by the Stride Breaker, he still feels safe enough. Broken Blade, though, wanted to spin the flash to try to engage there on the enemy top laner, as now the seismic shove, the Weaver's Wall, it's Emo turning a fair fight unfair, making it so GAM comes out on top.
Heck yeah, baited him in there for Emo. Emo's going to continue pushing as well. So even though Caps had shoved that wave up to the top side, they've got their teleport to answer. Kiai can go collect that wave. 2 items as well. GAM actually really heavily shoving down there. Kiai doing so much work on this tower with the Trinity Force. And they're going to trade the Dragon. Secondary tower picked up here. Kiai barely gets it.
He gets it, and now he's got to try to join up with the rest of the team. Levi's going to be in some danger here as LeBron and Caps go in, find some initial damage onto the GAM jungler, but Kiaya goes in for the Mega Gnar onto both G2 holds on. Elio trying to retreat as G2 have a 4v3. Broken Blade tries to slice his way into the fight as Emo, Artemis, and Elio have to run away. It was so close for GAM, but Caps barely holding on, fires back from the other side of the wall, and G2 get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that was barely a sliver of HP left for Caps. I mean, Kiaya had found such a good angle with both carries trapped inside the red buff pit there. Not done quite yet, though. Okay.
Oh, the flash in from Elio, but a nice backstep there from Broken Blade to get out of the way of the seismic shove. Elio down to 200 HP now. GAM wanted something, but not quite hitting their skill shots.
And during that, G2 are taking the Otacon here. So Skewmon should be able to finish that one up. The attempt on Broken Blade's a life
piercing arrow there from Hansama to put about 20% of the health bar into Artemis. Another one connects there onto Elio. As Levi wanted to go for a win, becomes lightning. Emo fires off the Weaver's wall as Levi dives into the background. Hansama in some danger, but he ain't gonna be killed off just yet. Levi's about to die to Skewmon as G2's counterpunch is way too strong. GAM thought they had him, but the only thing they have is an ambulance ride. GAM has already lost 4. A triple kill for Skewmon, and Kiaya is stuck between a rock and a hard place and a pillar, and he's about to drop as well. The ace for Caps, for G2, the victory march. Game 1's done.
G2 ripped them apart there with the counter. Skewmon is way too beefy there. When Levi goes in, he just gets chomped down.
It's exactly what you said back in the lobby, man. Xinjiao might like to scrap, but Trundle is ready to answer the call. G2 up 1-0.